This is the final installment of the 3-part series I've made on how to be a god tier player on Overwatch 2. Part 1 was supports, part 2 was tanks, and the final concludes with damage heroes. If you haven't seen the other 2 videos, this is going to be very confusing for you, so go back and watch those a few hundred times and then come back to this one to truly understand the 9,000 IQ details we're going to blast into. Grab a weapon, grab a drink, and ready up that trigger finger as we shoot into how to be the best damage hero that we can be. As a damage hero, your main objective is to get a variety of eliminations strategically, bouncing off the coordination of eliminations, heals, and shield from your support and tank allies. Damage heroes are often called squishies due to their lower health and fragile bodies, unlike some characters. To prove you're a true gamer, you have to either get 99,999 damage or 999 eliminations in one match. There's no negotiations, this is absolute Gamer Academy graduation criteria. Oftentimes we need to consider the scoreboard's kind of misleading. Having 54 eliminations and 5,000 damage compared to 23 eliminations and 10,000 damage is not the same. Each scenario for a score is different, so keep all that in mind before roasting your damage allies. Now also keep in mind, for some reason damage characters like to rush into the enemy team alone, 1v5. Now, while this is admirable, this is also in a lot of ways, in a technical sense, if one does not have the skill set to get in and out of a situation like that, or have a plan to do mass eliminations, stupid. So don't do it if those traits don't apply to you. Tanks and supports should come in to your aid, but not if it means team wiping. Yet at the same time, damage characters push the enemy team strategically, so as long as all allies can help, they'll be the machine gun to your army and let loose. Now to the heroes and what they need to do to stop Null Sector from executing Order 66. Ashe is the leader of the Deadlock gang who specialize in making their enemies dead. Ashe shoots her main rifle from long and short range as well as her mini coach gun. She can use her coach gun to lift herself into the air and out of situations by blasting enemies away because gamer girls are rad. She's played exceptionally well at long range and is one of the best snipers, since for her it's easier to get headshots, but not better than Bob, who runs into the battle like a tank but deals massive DPS like a damage hero, focusing on one enemy at a time and shooting them non-stop until Ashe says Bob is a good boy. Bastion deals massive damage and even shoots a grenade now, and has 3 modes. Scout mode, where he's going around like normal, Assault or Tank mode, where he's become a super firing massive DPS tank, and Artillery mode, where he nukes his enemies because when in doubt, bomb them. Even Bastion players themselves feel awkward playing Bastion, thinking it is cheating, and there is a secret code in Overwatch that no one picks Bastion as a truce. The biggest secret about this character is the bird, Ganymede. You guys seriously don't see it? The bird controls Bastion, the bird is Bastion, birds work for the bourgeoisie is the government made Omnics for the war, it all comes full circle, it's the bird. Jesse McCree, Cole Cassidy, is a cowboy who used to know Ashe in her Deadlock game very well, if you're catching my drift, partner. Cassidy can shoot his Peacekeeper from long and short range, being a pseudo-sniper. His belt spells BAMF, which actually stands for Badass Motherfucker. Very stereotypical American, I see. This really and truly encapsulates the coolness of gamers. He's able to do a 6-round burst with his Peacekeeper and even reload right away with his roll, but too bad they got rid of his flashbang because he was too cool for the West. Cole is only able to do well at noon, hence his ultimate only works at noon, and any other time you try and shoot it off, the game actually sends you a message saying it's not noon yet, but it's early enough for a beer. Echo is a super intelligent AI created to be useful to Overwatch, until she got shut down because the military said no more robots. She can fly, she can shoot tri-beams and blue aura sticky bombs, she can glide, and the best ability is her ultimate, which copies any opponent that she's actually pointing at for a short period of time, because why play as Echo when you can play as any other character? Genji is a deadly damage character if used well. Not only is he exceptional at picking off weakened enemies, but he can 1v1 a lot of heroes and win. Anytime he gets an elimination, he recharges his sword Swift Strike, allowing for non-stop heavy violence in the form of shuriken and swordplay. His ultimate, which I can't possibly pronounce, allows him to stuff a literal spirit dragon into his blade that deals good damage per swing. So a combo of Swift Strike and Dragon Blade is a menace to society. He's able to reflect projectile type attacks back at the opponent using his reflect, meaning he can deal even more DPS and protect his allies a little as well. Genji can also double jump and climb walls because he's better than Hanzo. Most Genji will jump at least 4,000 times per match to assert their dominance. Hanzo, the older brother of Genji, uses his bow instead of a sword. Hanzo doesn't have the ability to double jump, but he can lunge forward, which is still kind of a double jump. His main gimmick is headshots, so aim down your targets and let loose. Storm Arrow is an assault of arrows that do reduced damage but shoot way faster. He can also be used as a useful recon hero, which allows him to spy on opponents because he's a partial ninja. Same as with Genji, he continues the Shimada tradition of animal abuse and shoves a spirit dragon into his bow, which then gets fired at the enemy. And his ultimate is one of the easiest to avoid because all you have to do is hear his voice and proceed to move sideways. Junkrat is a pyromaniac, an actual maniac, and a nuisance to society. He mainly uses his bombs, which damage everyone except for him because he's been smacked around and radiated on so much he doesn't feel pain. He can throw an exploding concussion mine, which gives Australian concussions and can trap people in a snare because he likes to hunt his prey. His Riptire is the Overwatch version of RCXD and hits just as hard. Mei took a nap for a few years and woke up to find all her friends didn't do the same. She uses her freeze ray, which for some reason the devs decide to get rid of her freeze ability with it for no reason whatsoever. She can make an ice wall because she's also a waterbender and can refreeze herself because she can't escape her PTSD, post-traumatic snow disorder. She once again can freeze everyone in place with her ultimate and continues to fire at their unsuspecting bodies while they sit there literally frozen in fear due to a character named Snowball. Farah takes traits from her mom Anna in the fact that she has Egyptian army skills, but instead of sniping people, she grenade launches people in the air. She can hover and jump boost for higher altitude, resulting in more distance from her to her opponents so she can bomb them. Until she comes point blank range and show you what she's packing. She's incredibly annoying to verse, and unless you have a hit scan, you're going to be bombarded with Arabic Assault Annihilation. Reaper is a high DPS hand cannon shotgun deathbringer that heals himself the more he damages opponents.
I'm death. Straight up.
His Wraith form allows him to become invulnerable and move faster for a short period of time and reload his shotguns. A shotgun to the face keeps the death away. Oh wait, it's the opposite. Reaper's ultimate is the Death Blossom, aka 360 shotgun hellfire, in which he loses all sense of direction and aims in all directions. Sojourn is the newer damage hero, and she's got some assets to her. She can shoot her railgun and charges it up very fast with a recent patch that was made to her, and gets headshots from 45,000 meters away from across the map. She can also slide her legs across the map and propel herself upward to do some evasive plays, as well as some technical airborne to ground plays. She's not OP, she's balanced. I don't know what you're talking about. Mercy Pocket? What's that? Her ult, Overclock, allows her to charge up her railgun automatically to ass blast anything she aims at, most likely your head, because it's clearly distracted by her quick skills. Soldier 76, my favorite hero and daddy, is stuck in World War Overwatch and hasn't moved on despite the rest of the world doing so. He can sprint, fire off a pulse rifle, judge others for breathing wrong, heal allies making him a pseudo support, put you in the ground while still being able to cook a steak medium rare, and is a great hit scan and overall good pick for most players. Using his tactical visor, auto aims at the opponent so you can't possibly mess that up. Sombra is a hacker and thus triggers Diva because gamer girl rivalries are real. She's a stealth hero that can hide herself, go right behind unsuspecting enemies, hack them, and limit their ability use for a small period of time while dealing increased damage to hacked enemies. She can see low health enemies through walls and can even toss her translocator anywhere she wants, being a versatile tool to get in and out of situations and cross the map in style. Her EMP deals a fixed amount of damage to enemies, leaving them hacked for a short period of time and completely removing barriers. There's no hiding now. A good Sombra can sneak past the enemy team and hack up to 100 times a match and causes the enemy team to whine about it and rage quit. The only thing worse than one Sombra is two Sombras, and there can only be one. Make sure you end them over and over to the point they rage quit and leave the match. Symmetra controls photon light energy and can beam damage opponents, and the longer you solar flare the enemies, the more damage amplification it allows. Tanks are especially screwed against her if you know how to play her right. She can create a teleporter from Jetpack Joyride, allowing your team to hop across quickly to get in and out of areas skillfully. She also has 3 baby photon beam turrets, and these things are some of the most annoying contraptions in the game because she keeps firing them and they slow you down and deal decent damage. She can also create a massive barrier with a load of HP for a short period of time because she needs all the protection she can get. Torbjorn is the lead engineer of Overwatch and uses his rivet gun filled with actual molten lava that somehow doesn't burn opponents on impact. He can also drink this stuff and live. He can also beat people with a hammer, as well as repair his deployable turret, one of the best mini allies in the game that can be placed anywhere as a technical 6 teammate. Because sometimes it does more than your actual teammates. Overload allows you to compensate in height, where you can make up for an aggressive strength and increase speed and weapon speed to knock out enemies. His ultimate, the Molten Core, spreads his lava all over the map and damages anyone that passes through it. Tracer from the hit song is why Musically and now TikTok are prevalent. She can blink forward at fast paces, which allows enemies to be confused where she's going, and her pulse pistols deal a massive amount of DPS since they fire so fast. She can recall herself and break the laws of time, going back a few seconds, which can be used for a few purposes such as evasive maneuvers, healing herself back to a higher HP, or confusing the enemies further and pulse blasting them. Her pulse bomb is useful, sometimes, if it lands in the general vicinity, or gets stuck to an opponent. Widowmaker has no soul, and has thus become the perfect assassin sniper. If you know how to snipe, otherwise she's absolutely useless. Holding down the scope allows the bullet damage to charge up and zooms in on unsuspecting victims. She can also use her ult to get an even better sniper shot, as well as assist teammates, being a very useful recon ally. She's French, so she has a grappling hook that allows her to run away from the fray, and a poisonous venom mine that can deal a tiny amount of damage if triggered and reveals the location of the simps that want Widow to step on them. With that, we've come full circle on how to truly use each damage hero to their full potential. As always, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos if you'd like to, and I'll catch you all in the next one.